against the Sentinels, because that's the match that we truly want.
Doug?
I think I'm going to go 2-1 TSM as well. I think 100 Thieves will have a much better performance than last time, but I think it's just going to be too strong. We are going to wave goodbye to our dear friend Bach as we get into the action, folks. As Bach said, we are going to be going to Ascent first. The last time, these two teams met was actually on Ascent in the first map, and it was a 5-13 win for TSM. So given some of that history, it could be tough, but again, you can't count this 100 Thieves roster out at any point.
Yeah, I mean, we also saw a pretty convincing win from 100 Thieves up against Cloud9. And to be honest, watching that VOD back, I managed to pick up that 100 Thieves really likes to play around Dicey and Asuna on this map. Give them the potential, especially on the defensive side, to double peek. They're not going to be on the defensive side this time, so we'll see what the attack looks like. So far, not too bad as they find an early pick reaching onto this B site, and it's traded away by Cutler, but the spike still needs to go down.
Yeah, and a couple of members of the 100 Thieves have taken a good bit of damage already, Asuna being one of them, but was able to take care of Drone and heal up. So far, so good for 100 Thieves. They managed to get onto the site and get the spike down. Again, the last time they played, it was actually an early hit onto A. Hiko played off the side a bit and ended out not being able to join the fray quickly enough. But we'll see. It looks like actually a pretty similar setup, all things considered.
Asuna does get revealed there by the recon bolt, but still TSM really the gatekeeper here, not letting 100 Thieves out, and they may really just try to put the nail in the coffin here. So far it's the opposite side that is doing that damage as Asuna finds a pick. The Lear comes in, which means that they got to start to push forward. Cutler finds himself in a little bit of a tougher spot. That's gonna be hazed finding the crossfire frag, and it's all down to him in a 1v3. Asuna from range with the ghost will take him down. And 100 Thieves winning the pistol there to kick us off. You know, and considering the last time these two teams met, it didn't start out that way. TSM found the first and the second round conversion. And once TSM got to that attacking side, they just swept 100 Thieves underneath their feet. But moving into this one, there's a huge opportunity here for 100 Thieves to have a much more solid half, considering they had a better chance in the first half than they did in the second, and the sides are the exact same in comparison to that open qualifying match.
Yeah, I think another thing to note, it doesn't look like TSM is going to be forcing up much of anything here in the second round. So pretty standard, you imagine. Pistols obviously not going to have the same punch, the same firepower that 100 Thieves is going to be bringing into the table. And Nitro already flexing a little bit of that with the Bulldog getting the opening frag onto Subroza. It looks like it's going to be a hit onto ACMO.
Pretty standard stuff as they brute force their way in. Unfortunately for Asuna, Drone wins that challenge with the classic, and now it's all down to hazed from range. Not a round that we expected TSM to really have a huge impact on. But now, this third and upcoming round, this is where they really need to put the pedal to the metal. You see Wardell already purchasing up that operator. We'll have to pay attention to where he ends up going, because 100 Thieves on the defensive side are very comfortable with the double peek. They pushed Dicey and Asuna in B main, in A main, and they really were able to shut down tens in that fashion. Wardell is going to want to have that same effect against Asuna and against Dicey, because already Asuna 4-1, already off to a hot start, and Wardell wants to nullify that as soon as possible to find an early round here.
Yeah, I think it's really important to get the young bucks of 100 Thieves off to a strong start. The interesting thing for Wardell, at least on the side of TSM, is we've seen that team be very comfortable moving him around different areas of the map with the operator. We'll see him hold down mid, we'll see him hold down A long. So keep a close eye on where they position him throughout the map. So far, both teams have lost one already. Nitro's going to be able to get onto the site and get the spike down. A 4v4 here, as it looks like 100 Thieves has firm control of the site. TSM is all starting to rotate over from the defensive side, but Subroza getting a little bit too greedy there.
Well, I mean, having both players on the 50 in B main is really a tough call, and unfortunately for Steel, barely gets tagged by Cutler. They want to deal with Wardell. They don't really care about the player's backside, but those players are starting to funnel in, so Dicey's got to be a little bit more careful. He's going to get flashed off. He's going to smoke himself off into infinity. Now starting to come through. Dicey takes down two, and it's all down to Wardell. He's looking for exit frags, finds one onto Steel, and the third round conversion goes to the favor of 100 Thieves. A solid start here against TSM. This is what you want to see if you want to take map number one.
Yep, absolutely strong start. Unfortunate there that Dicey goes down. to the spike. But if you're a fan of TSM, you know that you're going to be bringing the operator into the next round. Wardell's getting off to a strong start as well, and those are the two players, as we all know, that is worth keeping a close eye on. Wardell and Dicey, the operators, the Jets, who's going to be able to put up more flash, essentially, to keep the map close, to keep the rounds competitive. As you mentioned, Simo, a very strong start from 100 Thieves. We've seen a couple of different looks from them so far, that one being the most impressive, in my opinion, knowing that TSM, was going to be able to respond in kind. Once again, something a little bit different here. Wardell's going to be playing over on the A site, playing a bit more aggressively here with Cutler in tow, and that's exactly where the spike is headed.
Oh, gotta be careful. Subroza, Sheriff in hand, gonna try to back away. TSM really want to control the choke points here, the B and A main choke points. 100 Thieves, though, they do tend to have a lot of mid control as it pertains to their attack plan normally. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it because they were on the defensive side to start up against Cloud9. They're, one very successful match in that series. On the attacking side, they really were able to just run away with the match, and Cloud9 could not, the battle of attrition of the rounds that they had to win, they could not make it through. And so for TSM, we're going to see a very similar battle, considering 100 Thieves are very comfortable in the position that they're at. When are TSM going to stop the bleeding? This round is going to be a little bit difficult. Wardell does have the operator, and he's 1 point away from the Blade Storm. So he definitely can be impactful, but he's got to be a little bit careful on the opposite sides. Asuna, he's going to feel that pain. And now trying to run away. Steel finds him in the cross, trying to escape through the tree room, and that's going to open up this A site wide open for 100 Thieves.
Oh yeah, and it goes from bad to worse for TSM as hazed and Drone are going to be sitting on the sideline for the rest of the round. 100 Thieves once again in firm control and the spike there. Furthermore, they have the Hunter's Fury if things get spicy, if they need to provide something a little bit extra. Hiko has that ultimate there to be able to pick it. Well, all right, never mind. Hiko's taken out as well. But still, TSM just down to Cutler, looking to save that operator, maybe get a frag on the way out. Ideally, he's certainly going to get a chance as he takes out Nitro. And he's just going to get the heck out of Dodge. But nonetheless, 100 Thieves, as you mentioned, are going to come out of the gate swinging a 4-round lead early on, much stronger than what we saw last time these two teams met.
Now, I understand that listen, I don't read chat when I cast, but I imagine the TSM CMO caused an uproar. All I want to say is that I love both teams, but don't you want TSM versus Sentinels? That would be just the spiciest match on the planet. However, I do have to identify that 100 Thieves beating TSM here would be a huge statement. Imagine 100 Thieves qualifying over TSM. 100 Thieves really struggling through the open and close qualifier. They were able to beat the tier 2 teams, but not really have a bigger splash against the tier 1 teams. And so this is a very important series for them. For TSM, this is just business as usual. If they win this, no one is going to really bat an eye because it's suspected that they should. So 100 Thieves, kind of the underdog in this story, in this series against TSM. But at the end of the day, I think the fans want TSM versus Sentinels because that would be, once again, a similar bloodbath that happened at the FaZe Clan Invitation.
Lockdown has been used. Wardell out to go aggressive, and he gets punched in the mouth at the hands of Asuna. The lockdown is still there as Drone follows up. He's going to trade it back and is able to take care of the lockdown. That's a huge play from Drone.
For 100 Thieves, it was the pump fake all along, heading towards that A side. They were just trying to cause enough ruckus. They were looking for control of B main from TSM, but they really couldn't hold it for much longer. And that lockdown was just to sell this A side plant, which does, of course, go down. And now it's up to TSM to work their way back over towards this A side. So far, it's just hazed alongside Cutler. Asuna's going to find Drone rotating towards that A side. So this execute works out phenomenally for 100 Thieves. They get everything they want. They get the A side plant. They get the rotations. They get control of B main. They force a lockdown for it, but it still works out in the long run. And 100 Thieves now will lead by 5 rounds.
You're mentioning, the possibility of TSM and Sentinels in the match to come if things go out that way. I think for 100 Thieves, actually, this has the opportunity to be really a program-defining win in the short life cycle, the short lifespan of 100 Thieves Valorant. Yes. Think about the rough start that they had. They didn't know if they had the right pieces. Then all of a sudden, you're starting to sign these trademark names, these like big I mean, huge signings and Nitro and Steel, and then you get in Dicey and Asuna. And as I was mentioning earlier, this roster looks really good on paper, but as we all know, they haven't delivered that win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that big punch, that one that says this roster, this experiment has worked, and they've arrived. For them to qualify to get a top 4 spot at First Strike and to beat TSM on the way, that's huge. But Subroza goes in aggressive. You hear the Hunter's Fury has been used to try to delay things just a tad. Steel's able to take care of Wardell. Asuna looking to see if anyone's there, but no, nobody's home.
Okay, like, I already know the tweets that are going to come out from that play. Like, who does that? Who puts down a dark cover, teleports into it, pops out, finds somebody? He had the support from Drone. Look where Drone's sitting. He's in the catwalk. He flashed the person coming in from the B lobby. And Subroza was like, thank you very much. I'm going to take that one ult out. But it still gets nullified to a 4v4 because as Subroza teleports back out, they nullify that trade with the catwalk. I don't know if that's if they were using a rifle or an operator there, but they still find a pick of one of the players just trying to cover for Subroza. So a very, very like interesting, spectacular play, but they just trade, and all the 100 Thieves needed to do was look down the center, and they found a pick. Whereas TSM worked, they sweated for that one frag, and that one frag ended up being Nitro.
Yeah, it was a very nice set piece. They actually have something very similar that they bust out on the eco rounds. We'll keep an eye on that. If Wardell has the Blade Storm, they'll do a very similar set piece. They'll ward off, or excuse me, not ward. They'll smoke off the entrance from mid and into B main. The breach will flash into the courtyard, and Wardell will go up, see if he can spot anyone. So very similar set piece. The one difference being, obviously, it was Subroza who got involved and dashed in. But with 10 seconds left, the spike just now starting to get onto the site. There's a Hunter's Fury by Hiko to clear things out. Steel's able to take care of Cutler as well. Once again, the spike goes down. 100 Thieves in control. But, Simo, it's a 2v2.
Yeah, is it a 2v2 for much longer? Hiko's got to watch his back. Dicey now with the op 10 HP in a dream. As TSM are narrowing in on their first round win. It's all falls to Dicey. First shot's going to connect. It's all down to Subroza. The 3K on the round will signify the round win here for TSM. A round they desperately needed to put on the board, and of course to make TSM Simo happy. But for 100 Thieves, they've obviously gotten off to a phenomenal start, and we can't discredit the work that they put in to win that 3rd gun round, to win that 5th gun round, constantly converting. And for TSM, they needed to stop the bleeding. Thankfully, they did so. But still, 4 players ended up falling. That economy has to hurt somewhere. You see Drone is pinched for armor. Subroza's down to 400. It was an expensive round to win.
Was an expensive round to win, but as you said, getting the proverbial monkey off their back is an important thing, especially on a map like Ascent. On the side of 100 Thieves, they're still going to have guns and armor for days. However, there was a couple of players who got pretty low on credits. I didn't catch exactly who they were. One of them bought all the way down to 0, so they've been investing, and while they've been winning a ton, it's not like it's been flawless rounds across the board. 100 Thieves have certainly been a bit worse for wear in a couple of rounds. We've seen a couple of interesting plays out of 100 Thieves so far. This time, Asuna using the Empress. It looks like they're trying to hit onto A, but it might be bait yet again. No. No, sir. They're going to push their way through Tree Room. That's exactly where they want to go.
Ooh, Dicey going to find a pick there onto Subroza. 1 player down, but Wardell is still a part of the conversation alongside Drone and Hazed, which are making their way back over towards this A site. The red carpet's going to be rolled out, and they want to delay the plant temporarily to get themselves an opportunity to get onto the site. Wow. So far, Wardell misses a crucial shot. It's down to 3 members here for TSM, working their way back onto the site. 100 Thieves getting into their post-plant positions. They've got a couple of members down in hell, a couple of members back towards A main, and Asuna playing point towards the tree room. But TSM, it's all up to Drone to find this frag onto Asuna. If he can find it, it's going to bode incredibly well for TSM. The fact that he falls means TSM need to back away, and they can't risk fighting. Because if he finds Asuna there, it's a 3v3, it's doable. 1 player's towards A main, and they can make their way back open onto the site.
Simo, an entire, night and day difference here in the early moments of this map, of this series, really out of 100 Thieves. When we saw these guys last, TSM was able to jump out early, and it was kind of traded back and forth, and then TSM ran away with it. This time, it's been 100 Thieves who have been able to establish presence early on, winning up 6-1 at this point already. It's just really, really impressive. Again, and the thing is, if the young guys can frag out, that's a good sign, right? Like, if they can get those guys in a position to deliver for the squad, that bodes well for 100 Thieves. Dicey sitting at 7-3, Asuna at 9-5 as well. this is a good start for 100 Thieves.
I mean, they really rely on these two for this map to provide the double peaks that we consistently look at. They're on the attack right now. Once we get to that defense, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But at the moment, they're relying Asuna and Dicey to entry. You're seeing them both positioned on both sides. Dicey alongside Hiko going to be working the A lobby angle. And on the opposite side, you get the rest of 100 Thieves looking in towards B main. The paranoia comes through for Nitro. That's just to set up Asuna. Now they have a lot more ground, and TSM have to be a little bit more cognizant. We've given up a lot of mid controls. Yeah, Subroza's on the catwalk, but really, how much can I do with that? That's a perfect opening pick here for TSM, and that's going to really nullify the question markers. Do we have mid control? Not really, but an open pick is definitely going to help out.
Yeah, so is that operator at the hands of Wardell, able to make that bad boy sing as you see Nitro creeping his way up mid, trying to establish some control. And again, it's about controlling the map, right? The fact that they're able to gain more and more real estate. And from that, more and more intelligence. Certainly what 100 Thieves are looking to do here. They have slowly but truly crept their way onto the B side. The spike is not, but still in a position of power.
Nice.
Nitro was on the flank. Wardell able to take care of him. That's a big kill.
It will at least be nullified temporarily, but still two members of 100 Thieves have to be careful. Steel just trying to find this pick onto Wardell. And now that the smoke subsides, he's not going to be able to find a Hiko. It's all up to you. He's got the spike. He's got shock darts. Recon bolt coming in shortly. But he's up against four members of bloodthirsty TSM players. There's going to be the swing. There's going to be the peak. Wardell with the 4K on the round, definitely starting to light up the scoreboard. You know, I want to highlight, there was a specific moment where 100 Thieves managed to land a recon bolt towards the back of sight. You and I were debating this earlier today. For TSM, they make the decision in agent selection to either put hazed on the Cypher or put hazed on the Killjoy. If you're putting hazed on the Cypher, you're looking to counter any movements from, well, also you're looking to stall. But mainly, the recon bolts on the B side, we've seen a very creative cyber cage up on the back wall to stop the recon bolts from really spotting out anybody. The fact that you're swapping over to the Killjoy really means that you're just trying to use a lot of that utility to deny even harder, because I think the utility from Killjoy is a little bit better at stopping pushes than Cypher utility.
Certainly agree. That is a change that was made between the open qualifier and the closed qualifier out of folks over at TSM. Cutler's going to get a good bit of information to know there's pressure coming in from Tree Room as the members of 100 Thieves flood onto the site. TSM's going to have two over at B with plenty of utility to boot, but that's not going to do them any good. Cutler drops, 100 Thieves in control of A.
So far, so good for 100 Thieves. They'll have control of this A side. And once again, TSM sitting on the sidelines for the rest of this round. Likely not going to contest and save that weaponry to move into the next. You know, I think a best case scenario here for TSM, we're at 2-7 right now. If you're looking to come out of this half alive, you need another round or two. A round minimum to put yourself at 9-3 or 8-4. That would be the worst case scenario for 100 Thieves. But we've still seen a lot of creative defensive looks. In fact, that is how 100 Thieves managed to take down Cloud9. It was a 10-2 finish, and it was on the defense they were able to really put up those types of numbers. And so for TSM, you really need to have a little bit more oomph in your step here, as there aren't too many rounds that remain. There are 3 after this one. You got to put 1 or 2 more up to really make this half worth your while, so you can swap over to the attack and have your chance at success.
Now, Simo, let me ask you this. We know, given how this panned out the last time these two squads met, that TSM was very strong on the attacking side. If you're 100 Thieves, what's a comfortable score at halftime for you? What do you need to get to take a, maybe not a full deep breath or a sigh of relief, but at least have some semblance of comfort going into TSM's stronger side?
I mean, ultimately, obviously 10-2 would be the best, but I don't know how reasonable that would be. TSM have managed to put rounds together, gun rounds together, and they may be looking for that here as well. Dicey finding an early pick onto Subroza, doesn't double peek with Wardell. Wardell was looking towards the catwalk, maybe trying to find a player from B lobby with that angle, but of course the smoke pushes him off, and now he's got to work on this A side by himself. I think for 100 Thieves, really anything that I listed for TSM would be great, because their defensive side is strong as well. So it'll be kind of a battle of attrition between both of these teams. We got to pay attention to this site hit from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, Wardell's able to get one, tries to get a second as members of 100 Thieves knock on their doorstep. Wardell somehow manages just to get the tiniest of pixels onto Nitro, but he's traded out by Dicey as the op battle goes in favor of 100 Thieves. TSM trying to fight to regain control of this site coming in from heaven. The spike is down. Nobody has picked it up. The lockdown's going to be used as well. Drone might be able to wallbang somebody. It looks like he dealt some damage, but not enough to get the kill. Steel's going to get knocked up as well. He's taken out. TSM have control of A.
30 seconds left on the clock for 100 Thieves to get this spike planted. So far, so good for TSM, but they're all huddled up. 100 Thieves making a lot of noise, moving up through the garden, and we're about to see a bloodbath here on the heaven side. Dicey and opting in for the Phantom instead. Drone gonna find the first pick. It's all down to Dicey. Shot's gonna be good onto the first, down to the 1v2. He's gonna have to escape those shots as he drops down onto the site. 15 seconds left on the clock. He's gotta plant the spike, and all that's left is Cutler and hazed. Oh no, he cancels it. Now he wants to get involved. Ooh. Tailwind's out. He's just trying to stall for as long as he can. The lockdown does not help, and hazed will find that frag onto Dicey. TSM securing that round. And you see how much they committed to secure that round. Dropping that lockdown was just to say, I am not letting you win this round. I'm not letting Dicey, the shenanigans come through, the 1v2 clutch. I'm not letting it happen. Because in that round, he found 2 picks with the op, and he found Wardell as well under Hell, and he really opened up the site for 100 Thieves. So TSM was like, no. Stop that. Lockdown, drop it down. Dicey's like, I can't do anything about this. It's difficult to play against, so he just pretty much gives up, tries to peek, tries to find the frag, and he just, so good down TSM to win that round.
Wardell once again with the operator. Looked like they were trying to establish some semblance of mid-control, but 100 Thieves are actually taking the matter once again to the doorstep of the A site. And so far, nothing has been fully committed yet. A couple smokes going up to buy time. As you see Subroza start to cheat over, the Hunter Tree is going to be used by Hiko to try to clear out the tree room and heaven area of the map. The spike has made it onto the site. Nitro is going to begin to plant a Subroza
nice.
With the flank is able to take care of Asuna. Spike down, however. 100 Thieves trying to grow the lead.
Yeah, Asuna sitting in Broza was looking to try to catch some of the players out in rotation or maybe coming in from the tree room. So the fact that TSM committed 3 members there means that they were committed to trying to fight those angles that 100 Thieves were looking to benefit from. But now it's all down to the players on site. Steel bobs and weaves in and out of the smoke. Gonna find Subroza. Now it's down to the 2v3. Hiko playing backside. Steel weathering the storm with the nano swarm. Now has to walk through the fire and the flames. He's gonna get taken down by Wardell. It's all down to Hiko spraying down the spike. Shock dart in hand. Gonna likely take down maybe some of the life members here from TSM, but they're still alive. They're still defusing Wardell, waiting for Hiko to peek. The shot's gonna be good. He can't defuse. Wardell's gotta run, and 100 Thieves clutch the round.
Oh, Hiko played that so well. A little bit of fire early on through the smoke where the things were coming down from his team to let him know exactly where the spike was, right? Couple of bullets, then pulls off, drops the shock dart, and that forces the diffuser off the spike. And it just buys time. It bought Hiko enough time to reload and reposition himself. There were no pings afterwards, but still, once the smoke went down, he was able to take care of the person diffusing, drop things down to a 1v1. Ultimately, at that point, it didn't matter. Wardell didn't have enough time. The diffuse timer ran out, and that pocketed 100 Thieves that win. Hiko played that very well.
Down to the last and final round of regulation before we swap over to the second half. Looking at 100 Thieves, we've seen this look before, but maybe with a little bit more mid-aggression. That's why you're seeing Steel start to head on over there. The Empress popped, means that they're ready to push in, but hazed in a corner, and we tend to see a lot really cancel this push forward. We'll see if 100 Thieves are anticipating hazed playing in that position. Wardell's going to be playing close as well. Aftershock actually pushes Asuna off. They're looking to fight this now. Hayes going to find one, but the Empress still on here for Asuna as he gets smoked off. The firefight will commence, or sorry, will subside, as Steel has managed to find himself incredibly deep behind enemy lines. That recon dart will not get spotted, and they know that something's cooking. Subroza's been flanking all along, and guess what? Steel's been there as well, but it's all down to him. He's going to find 2 picks, but there are 3 members of TSM remaining. A very crazy round. A lot of flanks happening on all sides of the map, but TSM come out to outflank all of the members from 100 Thieves.
It was a difficult situation that Steel found himself there as we take a look at the replays from the first half. Thank you to our friends over at GoPuff, Use code NerdStreet for a discount on your first order. It really was a tale of 2 quarters, so to speak, right? 100 Thieves was able to come out of the gate swinging. They had a really strong start, but TSM was able to hold in large part due to some heroics from Wardell with the operator. And, you know, we even talk about this position right here. Steel, as deep as he got, TSM has shown that they're very comfortable giving up mid control at times, knowing that they have strong presence on both A and B. So yeah, you can shimmy your way all the way up mid, but know that you're still going to be sandwiched at that point, and that's unfortunately exactly what happened to Steel there. Nonetheless, 100 Thieves came out. They earned themselves a 4-round lead at halftime, but Simo, is that enough?
I mean, it was a best case scenario for TSM. 10-2 would have been a lot better for 100 Thieves, but I think we ultimately did not expect like a 7-5 at any point for TSM. The fact that they got to this point is relatively good for them, and already we're starting to see 100 Thieves really come out on top, going to put themselves at 4-9. As Cutler, it's all down to him. He's just trying to stay alive, and 100 Thieves are hunting him down. He's going to find one pick, maybe find a second here. He bobs and weaves out of cover. 100 Thieves win the first pistol round here. Already looking at a little bit of a different series, different map than what we saw in the open qualifier. This was the half that TSM really just ran away. 4 rounds in a row. 100 Thieves found a defuse, and then the last and final round ultimately giving us a 13-5. This time it's possible that TSM gets 13-5, as that is within the realm of possibility. Highly unlikely, but definitely a point being a different look. 100 Thieves have definitely woken up, strategized for the close qualifier, and we're seeing that hard work pay off.
And I'm loving the performance out of Steel here so far. Actually leading his team as far as frags go on the Killjoy, no less. Here we see him anchoring down that B site. Plenty of utility all over the place. TSM has some presence over by B, and the rest of it's going to be invested in mid. The alarm bot is going to be there to give away their positioning. Any idea of shenanigans that may have otherwise gone unnoticed have been fully exposed. Now it's on TSM to decide, do we continue these pursuits, or knowing that that has been tripped, do we back out?
The fact that there's a turret there allows anyone from 100 Thieves, however many members there are here, to swing and peek. And TSM want to make this an expensive round for 100 Thieves. That's why they're playing so slow and trying to really cover all the angles here. They're going to come from the mid side. They're going to come from the B main side, because the fact that they're together allows them to push in. Steel going to find one with the turret. That's a little unfortunate. But now Steel's in a lot of trouble, managing to actually take out the Nano Swarm. Now it's all up to Nitro to stop this push forward. Steel's going to eventually swing. Going to find 3 picks on the round. Mow them all down. The ace for Steel as he protects Private Nitro in the cave. Back a site there on the B site. And now 100 Thieves are looking at double digits. TSM gun round. This is their chance at redemption.
And Timo, Steel had 13 health that entire time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he set up the utility really well. He got tagged up early on, and then out of fancy footwork, really, was able to stay alive. He was able to take care of the Nano Swarm that was dropped right at his feet and avoid any damage coming from there, and really preserve his life and just be a nuisance long enough to where TSM just kind of was like, look, we just got to go forward. They funnel on to B, and then guess what? It was him the entire time. So very well played by Steel. I was actually just singing his praises, and then he comes out with an ace. That was perfect.
Early looks at how 100 Thieves played this round. We saw some of that same aggression as I highlighted. Dicey and Asuna peeking A main together. And guess who's there? Wardell, alongside the rest of TSM. Take out Asuna. Now it's all down to Dicey. That double peek worked so well against Cloud9. Time and time again, Wardell, Tens, Relics, they would all fall apart at these double peeks from 100 Thieves. The young guns really coming in. So now we have to pay attention to this A-side hit. Can the rest of 100 Thieves really stop this push? So far it's working out, as that's Dicey and Nitro. Steel in the courtyard will find Subroza down to the 2v1. It's all up to Cutler. He brings it down to a 1v1. Cutler versus Steel. Big brain versus other big brain. See who comes out on top. Whoa! No oh my goodness, Steel. That's some good stuff.
And Cutler had 11 health there. That was going to be a difficult 1v1 no matter what. But Steel, again, continuing to perform well. He got the opening frag there, was able to take care of things in that 1v1. Now TSM is going to be on a very mixed buy, right? You've got a couple of pistols, you've got a Spectre to work with, light armor across the way. It looks like they're upgrading to a Guardian. Hazed isn't going to have any defenses other than his base health to work with. TSM, this is an important round for them to win, and that's not how they wanted to start.
Yeah, guess who's there? Dicey and Asuna. Once again, double peek. If it's not A main, it's B main. If it's not B main, it's Catwalk. If it's not Catwalk, it's the courtyard. It's a problem, and you need Wardell to deal with it. It's the only person that can deal with it. Have the op, but you have to read where 100 Thieves are going to play that double peek. And that's tough to read. You can't always call that out correctly. The fact that it's this time, it's up to Wardell. The Guardian shot to the dome. Dicey is going to sit this one out. Now a 4v4. The double peek does get nullified, and now it's all down to the rest of the 8 players.
Once again, TSM mulling over the prospect of hitting the B site. They do have hazed on the opposite side, was kind of peeking out for some info, but now he's starting to rotate over. It looks like that's where they want to go. On the other side, 100 Thieves is going to have Steel as the first line of defense, but the rest of the members of 100 Thieves have not rotated over. Now they're starting to creep their way. They have not fully bought, however, into the possibility of this being a B hit. Steel's going to get some info.
30 seconds left.
Oh, and Wardell's going to go aggressive, and Steel gives it to him anyway. Through the flash, that's a huge pick for 100 Thieves.
Oh my goodness, now they're going to try to continue to push him off. They will eventually find him, but it's traded away by Hiko. What a play there from 100 Thieves. Drone gets taken down at 23, and that's the 100 Thieves barreling down the defender's spawn. Incredibly well played from the LA Thieves.
Match
well,
point.
well done. It was all Steel's heroics there. They try to flash him off, and that's exactly the play that you want. You want to clear out the B site. You found out that no one has actually got boots on the ground. You've cleared out in the mid side as well. All of the 100 Thieves members were playing towards the A site, so it was very fortunate for TSM that there was only just Steel in the vicinity. You flash him out, you get the tailwind forward. He manages to still see through the light that is on his screen. All he sees is one color. It's white, the bright light of the flashpoint from Breach, and he still finds Wardell. Very well done there. And now it's match point for 100 Thieves.
And it's going to be a hot, heavy hit out of TSM to respond. 100 Thieves very comfortable with giving up the site right now, and it looks like they're very much willing to opt into just fighting for the retake. Steel is also going to use the lockdown to push off members of TSM, excuse me. Furthermore, the Hunter's Fury has been used. Nitro's taken out, but Dicey was able to take one as well. TSM are starting to drop members of 100 Thieves apart. There's only one left, and it's going to be Hiko. He's got the Hunter's Fury, but he's severely outnumbered here. Spots one, is able to take care of him, but just down to 68 health. This is a difficult situation.
Wow, what a fancy little shock dart. Wardell shoots up down from hell up to heaven. Holy Father Hiko will fall with the Wardell shots from hell. TSM stay alive. Important round for them. And they just blitz onto the A side. And I think to some capacity, some of the fast hits from TSM can be the downfall of 100 Thieves, but we also have to look at reality here. 7 rounds in a row is what TSM need to take us to overtime. And then once we get to overtime, it'll be back and forth, 5,000 credits apiece. TSM just got to take it round by round if they even want a chance at closing out this map. 100 Thieves, they can bleed a round or 2 or 1 or 3, and they'll be sitting fine. And it starts off in favor of 100 Thieves this round, with Subroza falling early to the knives of Dicey.
Well, and you heard Wardell use the Blade Storm at the same time. So early kill, as you said, going in favor of Dicey. 100 Thieves with map presence, with personnel advantage. Right now, and TSM are a bit scattered across the map. They haven't fully invested on anything. Wardell's going to spot one and is able to take care of Dicey from up top. What a play.
Yeah, that's going to definitely answer back for the frag onto Subroza. Really, it's just been Wardell and Subroza facing off against Dicey and Asuna, or Asuna, however you want to pronounce it. And the fact that Wardell finds an answer pick for Subroza falling is super important. Steel now has to face this lockdown. Fortunately for him, it actually gets destroyed. Not only that, but it didn't even cover him in the first place. Shock Dart's going to take out hazed. Steel just trying to hold the angle with the Bulldog, but unfortunately, he's not going to let it too far off the leash. Down to the 3v2. TSM forcing 100 Thieves into a retake position.
Yeah, TSM is not fully healthy either, so this certainly isn't out of the realms of possible. The Rolling Thunder has been used. Drone with the 3rd kill on the round, certainly almost securing the thing for him. And yes, that's exactly what happens. Wardell swings, takes care of Hiko, the last member of 100 Thieves standing, and TSM survive yet another round. This is getting dicey, no pun intended, for 100 Thieves. But as you said, Simo, they can afford to bleed a round or 2. They can afford to give up a gun round or 2 in order to close things off. But the thing is, when it comes to TSM, you can't give them much of an inch to work with, because they'll take the whole arm.
You know, I think Steel has kind of gone a little under our radar. 20, 11, and 2. He's definitely had a performance as well that we have to identify. And it's really just been him holding down, at least for this half, the site on the B side. TSM consistently being over towards this side. Subroza going to find at least an early pick onto Asuna. And this combination of Asuna and Dicey, for the most part, has been dealt with quite handily by TSM. But you still have to worry, of course, about the other members of 100 Thieves. Dicey, one of those remaining members, still holding close on the 50, as 100 Thieves are down on an economic disadvantage.
Precise.
Oh, that certainly doesn't help them out. Hazed, able to sneak around, take care of Steel. Dicey through the smoke, makes a stinger, deals some damage, and take care of Subroza, so it's certainly not out of the realms of possible. Nitro, however, is just going to get overwhelmed by members of TSM as Wardell takes care of him. Hiko on the flank as well is going to have the go. Certainly not the weaponry that you're looking for there. Cutler's going to get onto the site. He's going to get the spike down as well. 100 Thieves, yes, it was a pistol round for them, so you don't expect much. But this certainly looks like it's going in favor of TSM.
Dicey managed to find an upgrade after winning that battle in B main. Owl Drone is going to clear out the heaven side, and that means 100 Thieves don't have the element of surprise anymore. So poking the bear here on the A site likely is not going to work out. They're still interested in that idea, really trying to take down the economy of TSM, and cat and mouse game will be played. Well played by Hiko and Dicey. Hiko causes a ruckus, and Dicey is there for the challenge. And now as they're starting to run away, they may be looking for some upgrades. Hiko's going to find himself a Vandal, but TSM are still hunting. They're not quite happy with how that, of course, unfolded. They lost Wardell, they lost the weapon, and they want to answer back, but they cannot find the last two remaining members, Hiko and Dicey. So another round, TSM has brought things back 3 rounds in a row, and all that remain are just a couple more rounds for them to go. 5 is what they need. Still an uphill battle, but it's definitely a lot better than where they started. 100 Thieves, they only need one cheeky play to take down a couple of members of TSM, and they'll be in the advantage, and they'll close out this map. But for TSM, they're fighting hard every single round for that to not be a possibility.
Deploying drones.
Refusing to go away, but now 100 Thieves is going to have full weaponry. They also have 2 ultimates to work with. The Empress and the From the Shadows. Both can be insanely devastating in their own right. But for now, nothing really cooking. It looks like TSM is just going to play this a bit slowly, looking for some information. They have established some presence up across the middle of the map. Subroza has been spotted down to 26 health. That hurt.
TSM spread out. We're really interested, at least in the beginning, peeking towards B main. But if I had to tell you which side 100 Thieves really favored that double peek, it was always going to be that B main side. Dicey holding the op, just waiting for someone to peek. If he falls,
Steel.
Suna's ready. But Steel, we've seen this position work out kind of in a 50-50. Teams either don't check or they do. And they'll check with utility, but this time TSM not checking with utility. Nitro trying to help out with the paranoia, but Steel's like, no, I'm not ready to leave quite yet. Subroza gonna fall. The cheeky shock dart from Hiko, but Steel in a great position. Shout out to Drone. It's not going to land onto Wardell. They'll be able to take him down, and they'll answer back with the pick on the A side as well. Down to the 3v3 100 Thieves in the retake.
TSM manages to get on there, despite attempted heroics from Steel, and are able to get the spike down as well. No ultimates to keep in mind here, as TSM has assumed their post-plant positions. 100 Thieves is going to be spreading out their resources a bit to try to apply pressure from a couple of different areas of the map. Hazed with the Nanostorm trying to bite things off to push them back, to create some space. There's the Lear. Wardell looked like he was going to try to get someone. It's actually Asuna. He's able to take care of Hazed. The 3v2 in favor of 100 Thieves as TSM continues to fall. Just one member left and not going to be around for long. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 Thieves strike first.
Yes, they do, Doug. And in a series like this against TSM, as I imagine Twitch chat is molding right now.